Greetings gamers, welcome to part 17 of my Let's Play Fire Emblem 9, Path of Radiance. And in today's episode, continuing on with Chapter 11, Blood Runs Red, I have a little bit of dialogue that the Black Knight wants to speak. The mercenaries boarded the ship safely. Now, how to proceed?
You're not impeding that ship. I won't allow it.
One of Gallia's beast warriors. I've met you once before. Yes, at the castle near the Sea of Trees.
From where I'm standing, I've actually met twice.
Oh?
I saw you that night, standing in the light of the full moon, the night you murdered Sir Grail.
Ha 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 ha. So you were the one traveling with the Beast King, eh? Interesting. By measuring his aide's strength, I will naturally learn more of the king's true power.
Hate to tell you this, but my king is not to be measured against the likes of me. He is far beyond that.
All the better. Now then, let us begin. Why? Why do my attacks do nothing? You fight impressively. However, you are no match for me. Huh? Rise. Leave this to me.
You are one of the prisoners.
This knight will not raise his hand to me. Correct. Go now quickly.
If you insist, I'll give proper thanks when next we meet. Commander Har, let us pursue the enemy ship. They're friends of the subhumans. We cannot allow them to escape.
That was a good nap. Well, looks like the fighting's over. Form up, it's time to withdraw.
Commander!
Listen to me, Jill. We're scheduled to return home tomorrow. If you were injured in a place like this, your Lord Father would not be pleased.
It's because of my father that I must not return home empty-handed. I must have something to show him. Please?
Simmer down, girl. The Black Knight has ordered us to withdraw. Would you ignore his word?
That...
Would be suicide, correct. So let's move out.
Blast.
My lord, Black Knight, a ship is departing. If we ready our own ship and set sail without delay, we can overtake it immediately. Listen to me, General. You will withdraw from this place. I will not allow you to pursue that ship. Who are you supposed to be, fool? You've no idea who you're speaking to, do you? Gather your men. Withdraw. Yet we... I will not repeat myself. Do it now. Yes, of course.
Intriguing how a lowly prisoner could tell him what to do.
Are you sure that's true?
Yes, you can ask these two for more details.
The two of us were here representing the townsfolk.
You say that a green-haired lass boarded that ship? Yes, she had a very noble bearing about her, and she was beautiful.
Her name was Ellie? Ellen? They called her something like that.
It's true, Princess Valencia. My luck has changed.
All of us, all the townsfolk, are ready to cooperate in any way we can. If you would keep that in mind,
Believe me, I understand your loyalty. Well then, you there, come here. Yes, sir, right here. Get these two worms out of here. Find the hardest physical labor in this town and get these fools started. Work 'em from dusk to dawn without stopping. Work 'em until they can no longer move. You got that? Yes, sir. Understood, sir. But that's...
Why? Why would you?
Stop your whining. How else am I supposed to reward worms vile enough to sell their own princess to the enemy? Enjoy your payment, you greedy dastards.
Our own princess? That's not... It can't be. It can't.
No.
I actually like this Norris guy. Him and I could get along.
My Lord Ike, how wonderful. I didn't think you were going to make it.
I'm sorry to have worried you.
Oh no, I'm just happy to see you well. So very happy.
That's because she has a crush on you, Ike. I doubt the enemy will pursue me this far. A warrior such as you wounded? Did a Bjork give you that bruise? Master Gifka. The king told me to come and check on you. Don't move. You're plenty banged up, but nothing appears to be broken. There's one among the Dayan army whose power is overwhelming. To move with such speed with all that armor, I tell you, it's not right. And now the king's forced to use you, his shadow warrior, to come check up on me. Our ministers are as obstinate as ever. No matter what happens, they will not approve of an alliance with the Bjork. Nothing to be done about that. Every one of the older retainers has memories of Legu's subordination. Even the king. If Princess Olencia were not King Raymond's orphan, I doubt he would be willing to aid her.
Perhaps you're right. At any rate, the princess and the others are now safely at sea.
And the watchdog? No signs of carelessness, I presume.
Of course not. Even the elders will bend their ears to hear what that one says. That one is special, after all.
And how do you see this? Princess Olencia's drive for the reconstruction of Crimea. Does she have a chance?
Who can say? Which way the wheel turns depends on Ike and his mercenaries. Success and failure are but a hair removed.
So this company, which has done nothing but flee, controls the fate of the kingdom? That's a dangerous gamble, isn't it?
All gambles are dangerous, Master Gifka. But make no mistake about it. Dayan's next target is Gallia. We must go home and prepare.
Yeah, make no mistake.
Princess Crimea, did she board the ship to Begnion with the remainder of Gawain's mercenaries?
Yes.
The hindrance that was Gawain is dead. The location of the medallion will soon be known. Has our worm worked itself into the group?
It appears that our worm has been accepted as a trusted member of the company.
All is going as planned. Now, we let them swim as they please.
There is one thing. I met someone unexpected at the harbor.
Who?
The Prime Minister of the Begnion Empire.
What? Is that true? If he is nosing about, we must not make any mistakes. Did he give any indication he had caught on to our plans?
That I do not know. He did tell me to deliver a message to you. Overreaching ambition invites disaster.
Ha! Nonsense. Our only concern is the Princess of Crimea and the medallion. We must await and watch until such a time as we can strike. In that interim, I want you to take charge of the invasion of Gallia. Be smart. You must not allow Gallia to bring their full might to bear. Understood?
As you will.
And a good old save. Having narrowly escaped Dayan's grasp, the Grail mercenaries are pleased to feel the ocean beneath their feet as they set sail. According to Captain Nazar, the voyage to Begnion will take roughly 2 months. It's a long voyage. Blessed with temperate weather, the ship's journey southward is smooth and steady. As it passes the midpoint of its trip, the ship sets a course along the coastline and begins to head east. These seas belong to Phoenicius and Kilvis, the kingdoms of the bird tribes. Both nations prey on human vessels for supplies and wealth, and their flying corsairs are feared across the seas. Additionally, the southern portion of the continent contains the realm of the Dragon Tribe, the monarchy of Goldoa. It's probably my favorite nation in this whole entire continent, and it's the only one you never visit or actually see anything of in both games. And I kind of don't like that. I wish there was more explored with Goldoa. I can understand why it's not, but this country has remained isolated since its founding centuries past, preserving its closed culture behind a veil of mystery. It is these Legoose-controlled waters that Ike and company must now cross. Chapter 12, A Strange Land. Ike, what's bothering you? You've been moping around ever since we came aboard. I'm just a little seasick. Seasick? You're such a bad liar. You never even get regular sick. You're not the type to get seasick. Really, it's nothing. Come on, talk to me. You've been doing so much lately. I just want the chance to help you for a change. Well, all right. I'll tell you what's been bothering me. It's that incident back in Toha. Go on. When everyone discovered Renoff was a Legoose, all those people, they changed, just like that. Up until that instant, they'd seemed like such nice and kind and decent people. I had no idea Bjork prejudice against the Legoose was so strong. Why do they hate them so much? How are we so different, Ranoff and I? I have to say, at first I was scared too, when I saw how they could change. They can do things that we Bjork can't do. They're not like us. Miss, you can't honestly feel. It's different now. Everyone's so very nice. But you know, that's because of all the time we've spent together. I've seen how they are. I've gotten to know them. That's why I've changed. I'm not scared or nervous around them. But other people don't get that chance. I think that's why they're frightened. Maybe you're right. Maybe people like me are the odd ones, the people who accept others as they are. I wish more people were like that. I mean, no one really wants to fight, do they? Doesn't everyone want peace? No, that's kind of a joke. And there are evil people everywhere. And evil people must be stopped. This so-called Bjork prejudice is so very one-sided shown. Now, some of it's talking about how the Legoose have prejudice against the Bjork, but it's not really shown. Fact of the matter is that the only people in the continent of Tellius who had Legoose slaves is the Begnion Empire. Even Dayan, with all of its quote-unquote hunts that it does against the Legoose, never had slaves. And Crimea definitely didn't. So when you see prejudice from the folks of Gallia against Crimea because they supposedly felt the subordination and the slavery, it doesn't make too much sense when that prejudice goes towards Crimea, who never did such, right? I guess it's just hard to put all those fears behind us. You're right. It is very hard. Nazir, what's the big deal eavesdropping on us like that? How do you find sailing? Have you gotten sick at all? We're fine, but answer a question for me, would you? Why are you here? Why do you associate with the Legoose? Why, beside the obvious financial benefits, I suppose I do so because I am one. What? No, you're not a Legoose. I don't see any tail or anything. Because I've chosen to live among Bjork, I've taken certain steps to make sure I'm not recognized. I've had to change my attire, my feeding habits. I've done many things. He also has pointy ears, if you couldn't tell. Why would you do that? Legoose cannot survive in isolation, nor can Bjork. If both races are to thrive, they must learn to coexist. I have spent many years searching for a way to make this happen. You think that Legoose and Bjork can live together? After everything you must have seen, I'm impressed. Ike, you will never truly understand a matter unless you look at it from each party's perspective. As you say, the Legoose are indeed now persecuted by the Bjork, but long ago these roles were reversed. Oh, love it. Whatever happened in the past does not justify what we do to the Legoose now. That is the thinking of an honest man. Keeps things simple and pure. I like that. Still, the strength of your conviction comes from your youth and your innocence. Trust me, it will be tested. When your journey is over, how will you be changed? I pray your conviction is not lost to despair. Talking to you is hard work. Someday you'll understand. For now, my role is simply to deliver you safely to Begnion. Renoff has paid me quite handsomely with money from the King of Gallia himself. I will not let him down. We're out of our element here at sea. So you're all we have to depend on. Thank you for your help. I will do what I am able. Ike, here's a summary of our last battle. Earned 1,000 gold. Nice. Combat EXP, 387. Bonus experience points, 550. Great. I need every drop. MVP was Leave. Surprising. You're not going to see too many of those, but she is a good unit. At least for the beginning stages of the map. Luckily, that map only lasted pretty much the length of her transformation. There were no casualties and no one suffered permanent injury. We fought excellently. That's all I have to report, if you'll excuse me. Alright, info first. Ah, Ike, grab that boy. What's going on? No more running for you. Nasser, who is this? A stowaway. I gather he boarded the ship at Toha. What are you doing here? Why did you sneak aboard the ship? You won't talk? In that case. Ow, ow, ouch! Ike, there's no need to be so rough. I'm not going to waste my time playing games with this urchin. You want me to let you go? Open your mouth and start talking. Ow, 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 quit it, I'll talk. That hurt. I thought you were going to break my face. Well, what's your name? What are you doing here? I'm Soth. I'm a thief, but I didn't come on board this ship to steal anything. Stop scowling at me like that. You're making me uncomfortable. It's not just you. Ike always looks like that. Don't mind him, just keep talking. I'm looking for someone. I heard the ship was sailing for Begnion, so I decided to climb aboard. This person you're after is in Begnion? I don't know. The trail went cold in Toha, and I couldn't think of anywhere else to go from here. Is he family? Huh? The person you're looking for? Yeah, I mean, we're not related by blood or anything, but we're definitely family. You can choose to aid or not to aid Soth. So one thing I was planning on doing, but I just did not want to replay the chapters again after I'd already done it to get the talisman, was I was actually planning on going back and declining to allow Soth to come, or to allow Volk to come along after I had completed chapter 10. And the reason why was because I wanted to test my theory to see if I got that extra 50,000 gold. Unfortunately, I didn't do that, so whatever. I'm going to be continuing to use Volk, but I realized something. You don't miss anything if you don't recruit Volk at the end of chapter 10, because you can use all of his help during chapter 10, and there are no chests to obtain until after you recruit Soth. So technically, yes, it's better to have more than one thief so you can have more things opened at the same time, but realistically, you can make full well do without having Volk in your party. I kind of wish I had done that just to test it out. It would be interesting. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that some other time because that's just not what I've done here. I might end up keeping my chapter 10 unsaved over, and then what I'll just do is I'll play off screen and record it and have like a separate kind of documentary style video showcasing whether or not this so-called theory of mine is any true, because I haven't seen anywhere that discusses this. Now, granted, there could be places I haven't checked, but oh well, either way, right? For the time being, I'm going to have Volk, and yes, I am going to aid Soth. Alright. Nazir, my mercenary company will look after this boy. He won't be a burden to you or your crew. If that's what you want to do, it's fine with me. Are you sure? You're going to be put to work. I hope you're prepared. Sure, no problem. I'll do whatever you need. Volk? Right here. God, where have you been? You disappeared the moment we got on the ship. Don't worry about it. I'll be there when you need me. It's not me, it's my sister. You've never once shown up for a meal, and she thinks you're dying of hunger. Did we ever eat together while we were on land? Alright, listen. Land, big ship, small, it's the same thing. I don't want Mist roaming the ship with a plate of food anymore, so please, eat one meal a day with us. 100 gold. You're going to charge me to make you eat? That's more than you charge to pick a lock. Why?
I don't like large groups. Bye. Call me if you decide it's worth it.
Maybe I should just tell Mist he's dead.
Oh. You don't look so well. Are you all right?
I'm seasick. When I was traveling with the merchants, we sometimes used ships. Every time I was the same. I'm sorry.
Did you travel with Mustin and the others for a long time?
About 4 years, all told. I had just left home, you see. I was all alone and I couldn't find work. In my hometown, I had so many people I could depend on. But once I left, everything changed. If Mustin's group hadn't found me by the side of the road, I'd probably be dead by now.
You seem to have led quite an adventurous life. It's a bit surprising.
I get that a lot.
I find it hard to imagine that you couldn't find work, though. Your magic skills are amazing.
Aren't they, though? I'm always happy when people notice. Whew. Wow, I feel so much better now. I'm actually starting to get hungry.
I'm glad to hear it. Just stay above the deck, and when you start to feel sick, look off at the horizon, alright? I wonder if that works. Mist, can't talk to Titania yet. Are you kidding me? Come on! Would love it if they could start supporting. I would like some more actual usable supports. Alright, skills. Don't have anything to assign, but I do have a lot to manage in this current convoy. So I will be right back. Alright, gamers, I am back to talk about my new unit, Soth. He is a thief with horrendously bad bases. Most of his stats are basically half of what Volk is. Just as a quick glance, pretty much, yes, half of what Volk is. Now, Soth is only a level 1, though, so he's got a little bit more room to grow in his unpromoted class. The problem is that Soth cannot promote in this game. Literally cannot promote. So, to combat this, Soth was given a personal skill in this game that is unique to him. It grants this unit fewer experience points, but enhances growth over time. Blossom. Blossom is a very interesting skill. So, basically what it means is it increases Soth's growth rates by approximately 10%. Kind of. It's not exactly that way. So, his growths are 60% HP, 55% strength, 10% magic, 70% skill, 65% speed, 55% luck, 35% defense, and 30% resistance. However, Soth actually has better growth rates than that through averages. Around 20% better or more. Actually, it's quite a bit more than that on random mode. Now, on fixed mode, he literally only gets a 10% buff. So what you saw there, he would have 66% HP rather than 60. But to give an idea, on random mode, he has approximately an 85% HP growth. And instead of a 55% strength, he has close to an 80%. Which is pretty darn good. The problem is that because he cannot promote, and because he's stuck to using the most useless weapon type in this entire game, and yes, I would definitely say this is far and away more useless than bows, he's not really a combative unit. There are ways you can make him a combative unit. There's a particular skill in this game that I will be receiving quite a bit later that I have actually given to him before just to make him quote-unquote combatively reliable and good. And even though it did make him kind of a force to be reckoned with compared to a normal, everyday, average unit, the problem is that he was still all not that great because knives are just that terrible. So that's Soth. He is an interesting unit. I will definitely be using him for the sake of stealing and or picking locks and chests and stuff like that. I'll use him more than Volk because Volk does actually charge you that 50 gold. He really does charge you that 50 gold. That's not a joke. Nazir, what is it?
Nothing we can do anything about, at any rate. We're being followed by pirates.
Really?
I don't see any ships. Not by sea, by air. Look up.
Are those birds? If they are, they must be huge.
Those are legoos, Ike.
Ravens from Kilvis. Their black wings are an ill omen for all who see them. Titania, Soren, you notice them coming as well?
Yes, Soren and I saw them when we were discussing our plans from the aft decks.
I'd heard stories, but they're really flying. Wow. We're still out of range, but airborne foes can be especially troublesome. I'd prefer to avoid them altogether. Let's see if we can outrun them.
From what I've been told, the flying corsairs of Kilvis and Phoenicius are far more cruel than any beast legoos.
Winged pirates. How am I supposed to fight against that? What was that?
Oof. It felt like we hit something.
Blast. We've run aground. We must be caught on a reef or something. Move it, lads. Get up the ship free. Ike, the crows are coming. Pull everyone together. Looks like we're in for a fight. Gazalia Sea. Predictable humans sailed right into our trap without fail. Let's finish this quickly. It won't be long before Phoenicius or Goldoa take an interest in what's happening here. Speaking of that, Goldoa, actually, I did lie. You are run aground on Goldoa. That's Goldoa to our left. Soren, do we have a plan? I've done some research in the past. All members of the bird tribe are vulnerable to wind magic. I think it's safe to assume that they are also susceptible to arrows as any other flyer. Wind magic and bows. Alright everyone, gather your weapons and prepare to meet the enemy on the deck. I want a small group to remain below decks to protect Princess Alencia and the crew. We've never faced an enemy like this. I want everyone to stay together. Let's go! Unfortunately, a lot of my units are not actually going to be joining in this fight, because a lot of my units are not all that good. So, repositioning. I think this will be fine. I'm going to probably have Oscar taking up a position here. I'm almost certain that Oscar gets doubled by this boss, and yes, he does. Pretty sure everybody does. Oh, except for Titania and Mist. So one cool thing about this chapter is you get a lot of dropped items. So, and this is just very, very awesome. An arm scroll, a blue gem, there's a lot of stuff. Actually, frankly, he has an elixir. What I definitely want to do is choose Volk to join. So Volk will be here. I guess I can just put Titania here. What I'm going to be doing is stealing said elixir from the boss when he comes over to fight, because he will eventually come to fight us. The rest of his units are going to be taking on pretty much one at a time as best as I possibly can. I'm not bringing anybody who has a bow or any magic, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult than I would like it to be, but that's just what's going to happen. Now, he's using the Demi-Band, so a band that, when equipped, allows its wearer to maintain animal form at all times. All abilities are slightly lower while using the band. So I think this depends on what type of Legoos you are, what minuses you get. So he has -2 strength, skill, speed, and resistance, and -1 defense. Seeker is probably one of the more difficult bosses you have fought to this point, and part of that actually has to do with his 2 skills as well. Miracle, so reduces any lethal blow to half damage, and Corrosion, in certain instances, causes enemies' weapon durability to drop. This is only by your current level, which is 8, so he would reduce the amount of your weapon's durability by 8, which is actually significant for weapons such as the Legoos Slayer, but it's not significant for things like iron weapons. It's still, you know, you don't want it to happen. Who wants weapon durability to be subtracted?
But I think this is pretty good. You want to be very careful how you position your units in this chapter as well, because they can get overwhelmed. This is a rough and tough chapter. And I will go right here and put Volk right here. Now, I do believe they can fly over this, but I'm not entirely sure. But that ends my turn for now. Yeah, he's going to attack Mordecai twice, but only one unit can attack him, because the way that these maps are worked is that, like, for instance, right here, the bird could be right here. He can't attack Mordecai, which is cool, because it means that I don't have to necessarily worry about him immediately. What I am going to do, however, is attack here with Ike. Ooh, nice. A crit. I most definitely appreciated that crit. Heal up with Mist. And end my turn. And yes, he's going to obviously attack Mordecai. It just makes so much sense for him to do so. Doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to attack him with Ike. This is a great, and I mean a great chapter to get experience points on. For any of your units that are lacking, you definitely want to take full advantage of this. Wow. A magical level, my friend. Alright, Titania, can you double? No.
Caught up. At last. I'll do this on my own. I will not let them escape. Huh? What are those things? Giant birds? Disgusting. Could they be? Are they bird half-breeds?
Alright, so unfortunately with that being said, I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to bid my farewells and end off this episode. I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming.